Good morning, Buckeye Nation. It is a special Christmas Eve edition of the Buckeye Breakdown podcast. It's been a couple days since that masterpiece that was the Ohio State versus Tennessee game. And today we get into the film room looking at Will Howard's damn near perfect performance inside the horseshoe on Saturday night. In his biggest moment, he showed up, and he showed up in a big way for the Buckeyes and for Buckeyes Nation. That's coming up next on the Buckeye Breakdown podcast.
We've got the whole crew together as we cover Ohio State with our instant analysis from Ohio State.
There's something that doesn't feel right.
Unbelievable effort from him today. Is E.J. Liddell going to crack the first team All Big Ten?
I think he can be the guy. I'm not trying to start a quarterback controversy.
He seems to have the durability. He certainly has the toughness. This is the question on a lot of people's minds here. Welcome to Buckeye Breakdown.
And welcome in, everybody. A good morning to you on the Buckeye Breakdown podcast. Anthony Moeglin here for a film room episode where we're going to dive into the tape and take a look at what Will Howard did against the Tennessee Volunteers on Saturday night inside the horseshoe. It's been a couple of days since that awesome performance, and I hope at least, if you're jumping in here, you're trying to find your way out to Pasadena here in a couple weeks a couple days, because it is going to be unbelievable to have the Buckeyes back inside the Rose Bowl for an important game. And if they were going to start playing the way that they did on Saturday night, I'd say look out, because there's not many teams that are going to be able to go toe-to-toe with that version of the Buckeyes, especially with that version of Will Howard. In today's film room episode, I know typically in the past when we do these film room shows that we look at the game as a whole, but I want to take a deep dive into Will Howard, how he played, why he played so good, and also I want to take a look at Chip Kelly, Ryan Day, their offense, the game plan that they put together, the plays that they prescribed for the Buckeyes were just masterful. They were perfect in every way. And it makes you scratch your head about what happened a few weeks ago against Michigan, because that team we saw on Saturday night was one of the best in the country. And it makes you feel really, really good about what's to come, because you got Oregon in front of you, and then you got potentially Texas or Arizona State, and then you have some kind of collection of Penn State, Georgia, Notre Dame, and we'll throw Boise State there in the mix because they are certainly still alive. Their heart is still beating, because the college football playoff, yes, the discourse has been about how lopsided week one was, but that's sometimes the case in the first round of the playoffs. And in our case, looked like it probably should have been a little bit closer of a game, but Ohio State's defense came to play, and they made it impossible for the Tennessee offense to get going. And from the jump, I talked about it in our post-game show on Saturday night, from the jump, Ohio State's offense jumped on that field and took control of it right away, grabbed hold of the game, and never let it go. And it led to just an awesome, awesome night for the Buckeyes, for Will Howard, for everybody. Emeka Egbuka was incredible. Jeremiah Smith was incredible. And the Buckeyes obviously get that massive, massive win. So as we jump into the tape here, while you're popping in this morning, first, I want to wish you happy holidays and a Merry Christmas. If you're celebrating that, you see behind me right up here, we got my Christmas tree, changing up some of the decorations behind me. But appreciate you jumping in with me this morning. I know there's a lot of family time going on. We got sports and football and all sorts of things, gifts to wrap, food to cook. So if you're jumping in and joining me today, I really, really appreciate it. Hop into that comment section. Let me know what you think, what you thought of Saturday night, and maybe what your favorite part of the holidays is. I think that this is my favorite time of the year, so certainly I'm happy to be sharing it with you. So as we jump in here, we're going to get going right away. It's going to be a shorter one of these film room episodes. I know typically we go about an hour or so. This one will be just a little bit, little easier to digest for everybody here. So we get going here. This is the first drive of the game. And when I talked about Saturday, it was like, hey, the interior right here is where this game was going to be won and lost. And frankly, inside the box, inside the trenches, it was advantage Tennessee. Ohio State was rotating guards. Their offensive line has been pretty patchwork throughout this point in the season, and it was going to be a really big challenge for the Buckeyes. So what do? Use a couple quick passes early, and we'll show a couple play action plays where I think that the goal was to get Will Howard on the move, get him outside of the tackle box, and then use misdirection, use crossing patterns, use Ohio State's speed and athleticism of their 3 NFL wide receivers and their 2 NFL type running backs to get in space to create mismatches for the Tennessee Volunteers. So right away, I love this design. You're going to use a little bit of motion here to get Travion moving to the outside. And then G. Scott's really big here. Tennessee plays a lot of man-to-man coverage, especially on the backside of plays. You're going to get potentially a zone look up top where my cursor is, and then down low, you're getting a kind of a man look. So G's responsibility is to get in the way of this defender right here, and then kind of get vertical and just kind of be in the way as Travion goes in motion and then comes up the sidelines. What I love about this is Will doesn't waste any time. G does his job. You can see him use the rub. We're not going to call it a pick. We're going to use a rub here. And then once this Tennessee defender has to go underneath of it, he's beat. And Will, you can see it. His eyes are locked right on this guy right here. And then he makes a decision right away. And because G executed super, super well, it gives Travion a nice little window to catch the ball. He takes a nice hit, but the Buckeyes are rolling. And then a couple plays later, it leads to this one. The Ohio State uses just a straight drop back. And this is something that we just haven't seen. They haven't really trusted Will Howard to go deep. Okay. They haven't really trusted him to throw it vertically. Why? Because he struggled all year long. Think back to every single game this year. There's a play or two in the game where he's underthrown somebody, or he's been late, or he's been indecisive throwing it deep. And that's been something he's been working on all year long. And on Saturday night, the Buckeyes, the coaching staff, Chip Kelly, trusted him to just straight drop and let one rip to Jeremiah. Not that hard to throw to Jeremiah Smith. And I'm not saying that it's a bad throw or anything, but just get that thing out there. Number 4 is a superhero. And Will just goes straight drop and then lays one out there perfectly. It does miss just a hair inside, but it doesn't matter. When you have a guy like this who you're throwing it to, just get it in his general vicinity, get it in his general direction, and he's going to make a catch. This guy is special. He is so fun to watch. Thank God he is on the Ohio State roster. He finished the night. Jeremiah did 6 catches, 103 yards, 2 scores, and that was the first one. It got everything going. Speaking of Christmas, there we go. We got Santa right there, and the place is absolutely rocking. Okay. This one is just a nasty, nasty little play design. So you'll see this tomorrow when you watch the NFL games. You'll see it on Saturday when you're jumping in and watching more college football all throughout. This is a staple play that everybody kind of runs. Some you can run under center, you can run it from shotgun. But what Ohio State does is kind of nasty work here, because typically when you run, and this is called some kind of a play, whatever their terminology is, I called it a slide. Okay. So you fake a outside run to the left. All right. So you fake a run this way, and then the quarterback naked boots out this direction. And when you naked boot out that way, you want levels to throw to. Okay. So you're going to get a vertical level, you're going to get an intermediate, and then you're going to get a short level. So what you typically do in this scenario is it's a 2x2 set. So you slide a guy across the formation and he becomes the short level throw. But when you normally do this, you do this with a guy who's off the line of scrimmage. So the indicator here is like, okay, sometimes they'd be tighter to the line. They come in motion, they slide down, other things. But right now, if it were me and I had my defensive hat on, I'm like, okay, if there's one guy that's going to slide across the field, it's going to be Carnell Tate, right? He's going to come across and get into the flat here. Instead, what they do is they put Jeremiah on the line of scrimmage. They tighten him down a little bit. It's not like a crazy indicator. Oh my gosh, 4 is going to come across the formation, but he steps off. He comes down the line, and now he's in chase mode, because if you watch it here, this is sick. And this is his guy. Tennessee plays a lot of man-to-man coverage. So as they're coming across, you can see their guy. You can see him. He is just Jeremiah is totally cut free, because they use something that's a little unique. Okay. You typically don't see this, but they have the best athlete on the field. He gets in, he slides right underneath that edge defender. Will backs up, just floats it out to him. There's nobody within 10 yards. And because of that, Jeremiah is able to easily just get into 4th gear and just jog that thing right out of bounds faster than just about anybody else could do it. So they get this second drive rolling, 7-0. The horseshoe's rocking, right? The nervous energy is gone all the way. And then this place explodes, because this is my throw of the night, potentially throw of the year for Will Howard. So initially, when I talked about this one on the post game show, I thought it was going to be some kind of Tampa 2 coverage. And when I say Tampa 2, it's cover 2, and then you have a linebacker drop down the center of the field. So you're going to get that safety cover here, this safety cover that half, and then this linebacker runs with anything vertical down the seam. However, I don't think that was the case. Either they miscovered this or there was a miscommunication, because this safety on the top goes to this hash, and then this safety stays low. I don't know what he was doing. He stays pretty low down here, and then he notices, like an oh shit moment. He notices it late, and then he's like, oh god, I got to go back and get Mecca, who's down the center, and he is super late on it. But that doesn't matter, because Emeka just screams right down the center here. He takes off, and then you can watch him. Once he gets behind this linebacker, he hits the second gear where he's like, I'm going, because he saw pay dirt, and he just takes it right up the seam. And if Will has any negative, you see right here, he's like, oh god, here we go, because like I said, this safety stays low, that safety gets off the hash, there's nothing left. If Will throws this right now, it's a touchdown. If he throws it right now, it's a touchdown. He waits just a hair, and he leaves it just a little bit short. If I'm Will Howard, I'm throwing this thing now, getting that thing up, laying it up to about the 5-yard line, and letting Emeka run in there. Obviously, I'm not Will Howard. I never played at Ohio State. I shouldn't say it like that. But he's just a touch late on it, and it forces Emeka to slow down. You see him kind of have to slow down there to adjust, but he makes an incredible catch and sets the Buckeyes up 1st and goal from the 5-yard line. Just an awesome play, and what happens there is they punch it in with Quinshon, and now Ohio State is absolutely rolling 14-0, and it is sky falling for Tennessee, and Ohio State is just screaming right down the field. All right, now we go again. Still the first quarter. Ohio State got an opportunity to pretty much end the game. If you get up 3 scores in the first quarter, not much that you can do here. So we talked about how they ran that little slide play with Jeremiah. Now they go two running backs in the backfield, and this play is sick. Okay, so this is kind of exactly, what we prescribed on how to run the ball in this game, because you're not going to be able to run it in between the tackles, and you shouldn't major trying to run it in here, because you will lose, right? We saw that against Michigan. What you have to do is use the pass game as an extension of the run game. Get the ball out quickly to your your running backs, receivers outside the tackle box, get them in space. So this is technically a pass play, but it is blocked like a run play. Okay, they're going to fake an inside handoff to Quinshon, and then, similar to what Jeremiah just did, Travion's going to come out of the backfield, and he's going to go into a slide here. Okay, but instead of there being downfield routes, you're just going to get Jeremiah to seal in, and then Carnell to seal out. And now it is just an extension of the run game. Okay, watch it here. Jeremiah seals in. Watch Carnell on the top here. They go get a block. Travion gets it outside, and look at this. This is just a run play, okay? It's not – it goes as a pass, and Travion gets a catch on this, and Will Howard gets passing yards. But all this is a run play. Travion catches it, all right, and then bang. That was 2nd and 10, okay? What do you do? What do I always talk about? Getting ahead of the sticks, all right? You need an easy completion, an easy run play after you got no yards on 1st down just to get moving again. Well, this is as easy as it gets. It's wide open. There's no pressure. Easy throw, easy catch. And what's the result? 10-yard gain, 1st down in the plus territory, and things are starting to really, really move. So a really good play design there, understanding, hey, we can't run inside the tackles. We have to get that thing outside, and to do so, let's get it to our athletes in space, get it to them while they can get catch and run and execute at a really, really nice clip. Okay, big play here, 3rd and 5. All right, so we get an awesome – this is my favorite clip of the offensive line. All right, look at this. We got this is just a mugged look. Okay, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys on the line of scrimmage. You got 4 guys in a shell in the backfield, and then obviously you got the 1st down marker here. So as a quarterback, I'm like, okay, what am I thinking here? All right, because here's the 1st down. I know that they're not just giving me a 1st down. We're gonna get guys having to drop out, because that would be really silly if they just gave me a 1st down. So okay, they just show that pressure, they drop out of it. They're only bringing 4. All right, so Will now knows I have time, but he has time because he trusted up front. Look at this. This is the best pocket you're gonna see all night long. Look at this. They're all blocked up. Bang up top. Donovan's winning up top. Josh is winning down low. We got a 2-on-1 here with guard and center, and then a Tagra Shabola win right here. There, look at this. These guys are just fighting, and they need to, because the route that we throw down here takes a lot of time. This is a sail concept, some version of sail. Okay, so you're going to get a vertical route, a post or a go here. I don't know if it's an option. I don't know what he ends up running deep down the field, but some kind of a vertical. And then Emeka from number 3. This is kind of sick. Normally the number 2 guy runs the sail route, but you can mix it up, especially when you got dudes like this. So then Emeka runs a sail concept, and then G here runs kind of a choice option route where he can float out into space. So what that does is it stresses the flat defender. All right. So when you get this, whoever's in the flat either has to make a decision. Do I cover the choice route at the sticks, or do I drop back underneath the vertical route and make that throw a little bit tougher and force the check down? So this cornerback has to run with the vertical. The safety's going to try to attach to the sail route, but does so in a very late way. And then the flat defenders don't get out underneath of the sail concept. Will stands in there, rips a rope to Emeka Egbuka. This is a perfect throw and great pocket presence, right? Watch Will drift, okay? He starts his drop on the hash mark, and he drifts. He throws it 3 yards from that hash mark. Just does an awesome job feeling the backside pressure behind him. He's looking down the field. He feels it. He moves. Bang. He knows Emeka's coming open. Make sure it's clear, and rips one right over top. And then Emeka starts to dance a little bit. Everyone thought that he was going to break out of that and go get a score. But regardless, on 3rd and 5, they move the sticks, and now they go score. So it's 21-0. And it's pretty much good night, Irene. Like, it is pretty much game, set, match at that point. But 3 quarters left to play. And to Tennessee's credit, they do not give up, right? They get it down to 21-10 at halftime and kind of continue to fight throughout the game. But before that point, this is the first play of the second quarter. Second play of the second quarter. And Ohio State's trying to put a nail in the coffin. You get up 28-0, this whole thing's over, and it's start the buses type of a deal. So how do they get going on this drive? It's 2nd and 7. Let's get Will Howard on the move. Now stop me if you've seen this play. Okay, this is the second quarter. Just going to let this thing run out. Boom, look at this. Look pretty familiar, huh? Very obvious that it was part of the game plan to get Will on the outside, get him using these naked bootlegs, and get that slide action into the flat, because it's so easy. And if Tennessee is going to try to play you man-to-man, look, this is man. You got man. Here's Emeka's man right there. You can't chase that. It's impossible to do that, go across the field and chase this thing down. So Ohio State uses it. Like I said earlier, typically this is where you run that slide route from, right? He's off the line of scrimmage. He's real tight to the line, to the end man on the line. He gets going into the flat. We get a little misdirection, get all of these linebackers and everybody moving, and then it's just an easy, simple throw. Look, number 5's trailing. He is so beat at this point. He is so beat. Emeka does a nice job. Boom, gets it out into the flat. Easy 12-yard gain. Like so easy. All right, let's get number 4 back involved. You see the foot of one guy in motion. So you got 1, 2, 3 up top, single down low. This is awesome. It's some version of a drive concept on the backside. So you typically run a drive concept on the backs as a backside route. So that tells me this is more of a pure progression type of a read, where quarterback starts on this guy, and then if he's open, he throws it. If not, he gets through. So we're going to see here, you're going to get some kind of vertical from G. Will doesn't like it right away. You're going to get an outside release, 10-yard in route here by Emeka, and then Jeremiah running fast on his high horse, getting across the field. So Will does a great job, drops right back, doesn't like what he sees from G. Scott. Actually, this is probably pretty similar to, as I watch it again here, this is really similar to that first play that we showed where they motioned Trey out. They got him kind of moving, and then on that wheel route where G had a pick, you can see him right when he comes off the line of scrimmage. He kind of just gets out and he's looking, and then Travion gets into that wheel route. Will doesn't like any of it. You can see his eyes looking this way, doesn't like it. Boom, he snaps his head. Awesome job. Awesome job. Quick decision. You got off of 1, you got off of 2, off of 3, down to number 4, and not literally number 4, not Jeremiah wearing number 4, the 4th option in the progression. You get down to number 4 and you put an accurate ball on him, and Jeremiah is going to win every single time. This is just awesome quarterbacking, and you see it here full speed, right? He drops back. Does a good job. 1, 2, 3, 4, bang, down there, accurate as heck, gets it to his guy in space, and we're absolutely rolling. Okay, now 21-10. This is the biggest drive of the game. Okay, we talked about it on Saturday night. Tennessee goes down. You can see the score bug. It's 21-10. This is the middle 8. Okay, Tennessee won the first 4 minutes. They won that second half, or the end of the first half. And now Ohio State was up to win that start of the second half, because this could have been 21-17 and it start to get real nervy again. But instead, Ohio State's defense stops Tennessee 3 and out, and then the offense goes and ends the football game. So just another great throw here, another similar concept to what we've seen. Tennessee shows some pressure. Credit, a tip of the cap, round of applause to the offensive line here. Look at this. Look at this pocket. Just a great, I mean, there's nobody around him. This is absolutely perfect. And a shout out to those guys, and Will talked about it in his post-game press conference. They had to go 3 weeks just getting railed on, right? Just getting absolutely this group is terrible. This group's going to cost Ohio State. We don't know. And they answered the bell. Now, this is a tough look to pick up. Again, they do that mug thing where they got 3 hands down, right? Here's one guy with his hand in the dirt, 2, 3, and then you got 4 guys with, in those track stances, and you don't really know who's coming. They obviously talk it out. Tennessee drops 3 of the guys and they bring 4, and 1 is that add-on. You can kind of see him. This is tough, right? This is a really good job inside there. Boom. Sarivold gets out. Really good job. Or no, excuse me. That's Hinsman. Sarivold comes on a pull there. And Hinsman blocks back, does a really nice job of getting in that way. You got a 2-on-1 here. You got Josh Fryer winning. You got Donovan winning, and Will staying in the pocket, delivering a rip and a shot to G. Scott. And a very similar concept, right? You can run sail out of 2x2, just as you can out of 3x1. So I'm going to run this back. Let me get all my markings off the screen. So very similar. You get a vertical look, then you get G running that sail route. And if your tight end can run this, it makes it really, really challenging, and you get your running back out into the flat. And it's that same idea, right? We talked about it a few plays ago where you use the tight end to kind of draw attention in the flat. Now you're using Travion. He's drawing 2 guys, and immediately right now Will knows, okay, I got him. He throws it with great anticipation, and G makes a nice catch. Don't fumble the football. Just don't fumble it, please. But a good catch, good completion. Setting up what was I take it back. That first throw to Emeka after we watched it today, not my favorite. Missed it just a little short. This one is my favorite, right? I'm just going to let this thing run through, and then we'll run back and watch it, because this is a perfect throw. It's perfect. It's just a perfect throw. Jeremiah doesn't even have to break stride. It's so good. We get it twice, and he doesn't even have to break stride, and it's just an awesome, awesome throw. Now, what I will say, we get lucky here. Okay, this is a run play. All right, this is a RPO style play where Will obviously, hey, if you get one-on-one, maybe that was a coaching point. If Jeremiah's ever one-on-one with no safety help, throw that thing. All right, because this is a run play. You're going to get a pooler here, okay, on the backside, and then you're going to get a block up to the second level. I say this because he pulls it out. Now, Donovan's doing his job, but he is 5 yards past the line of scrimmage. Wait, there we go. 1, 2, 3, 4 yards. So if we're playing by the rules here, that's a legal man downfield, because this is a run play. However, refs don't see it. We'll take it. Great throw, great catch. But just be smart, be careful. We've seen this play a number of times where they do that, like super pool, where they get the pooler in, they add on the tight end. I love the run play. But Will makes a really nice decision. Quinshon, you can see him go like he's getting the football, right? But Will just takes that thing up. I mean, it's very clearly a run play. But when it's one-on-one to Jeremiah Smith, throw that sucker up there and go celebrate in the end zone. Okay, this is just an unbelievable throw. Had to put it in. Shout out to Carnell Tate. Been awesome all year long. Saturday just wasn't a focal point of the attack, but he finishes the game. This was his only catch for 18 yards. So really nice job. Carnell starts up top, and he runs this like deep cross over the outside of the field, over the middle of the field. And this is just the funny part about the Ohio State receiving core is Carnell Tate, your number 3 receiver, and this is an NFL player. Look at this catch. This catch is insane. I mean, you're running full speed into your bench. I mean, a perfect throw. I mean, this is what you knew. I mean, this is the third quarter, so we already knew Will was just on fire, on absolute fire. But this was just an unbelievable throw. He puts it right on the sidelines, and Carnell makes a great catch. I had to include it just because I'm a big Carnell fan. But compare this look up front to the look we just saw on the touchdown pass. Very clearly, this is a play action. This is the difference, right? Nobody's blocking downfield. You can kind of see them just stalemating at the line of scrimmage, and they're doing a nice job, but there's just those two different personalities. How I can tell that the touchdown to Jeremiah was a run play, and he just threw it up, and this one was a very clearly a play action pass, and does a really nice job. Great work, great catch, great throw. And I laughed about it because, on Saturday night, we talked about in the post game how like Will had like his hand was on fire, right? It was like if you ever played NFL Blitz or you ever played any of those games and the guy actually is like heating up. Will was certainly doing that, and he was on fire. Got a bunch of people in the comments. Let's get an OH, and then let's get Troy V finishing it off with an IO. Thanks so much, everybody, for jumping in. I know that you got a ton of stuff to do today. This is obviously Christmas Eve if you celebrate, but it's the holiday season, and I know you got a lot of things going on, family parties. Maybe you're cooking, maybe you're cleaning. I got to do some wrapping and some cleaning myself, so I certainly appreciate you jumping in and spending some time with me this morning as we talked about how the Buckeyes looked on Saturday night, because I think it was really important. And I thought it was really important for Will Howard too, because everyone was very critical of him after the Michigan game, and frankly, rightfully so. Really thought he struggled in that game, wasn't seeing it at the moment, felt like it was too big for him. And then in the next biggest moment against the next biggest brand that Ohio State's ever played against, he shows out and plays one of his best games, not only of his Buckeye career, but of his career in general. So really happy for Will Howard, really happy for the Buckeyes. They got a huge monkey off their back. And now, as you see it, like, there's not many teams that can beat that version of Ohio State. I don't care who you are. I don't care if it's Oregon, Texas, Notre Dame, Penn State, Georgia. I don't know. I don't know if any five of those teams can take down the Buckeyes if they play that good, and that makes you feel really good about Ohio State. Currently, according to DraftKings, has the second highest odds or second best odds to win the national title. So Vegas knows something. They're hardly ever wrong. Usually I'm wrong when I tap into those waters, but Vegas is rarely ever wrong. And Ohio State feels like they're back in maybe not so much the driver's seat, but instead of being in the back seat, they're in the passenger seat. And now they have the opportunity to take down Oregon, right? They get that second chance at the Ducks, and I know that they're looking forward to it. A 1-point loss earlier in the season in Eugene, and now they get the chance to right their wrongs inside the Rose Bowl. Well, it's going to be a historic event, a historic day, and excited to be there. We're going to be there. Buckeye Breakdown will be there. Ohio State Buckeyes on SI. We'll have boots on the ground. I will be there. So really excited to bring you like a ton of content from that week. We're going to be giving you a bunch of behind the scenes stuff. We're going to give you a bunch of cool and fun videos, doing some stuff out there. So with that in mind, hit that subscribe button. If you like following along with us, please hit that subscribe button. Be a friend and tell a friend while you're at Christmas parties this weekend or holiday parties. Let them know that hey, you stop here for one of your Buckeye content stops. So we'd certainly would appreciate that. So we're going to wrap on this. The Ohio State Buckeyes, 42-17 winners against the Tennessee Volunteers. I know it was Saturday night, but I wanted to do this after a couple days to let the dust settle, let some of the hyperbole of the excitement kind of fall back down, and now realize, like, hey, with clear eyes, this team's really, really darn good. And Will Howard, if you play like that, man, you are going to lead this team or have a chance to lead this team to a national title. Thanks again, everybody, for jumping in with me. Again, Ohio State, 42-17 winners. Will Howard on the day, 24-29, 311 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick. Ooh, that's pretty darn good. Thanks, everybody. Happy holidays. Wish you a blessed holiday season. Enjoy some time with friends and family. And until next time, we appreciate you hanging out with us on the Ohio State Buckeyes on SI YouTube channel.